What's up, YouTube? It's Joel. The Senate has officially passed the big bipartisan bill. This is a huge win for Biden, and it leads us into the much anticipated reconciliation package that everyone is wanting because it comes with a lot more stimulus for everybody. And we actually have some of the text for the huge $3.5 trillion budget reconciliation package, which we are going to do a full breakdown of what's in it and what they plan to put in it, including some more stimulus checks. We've got top Democrat senators who are looking to pass this with no GOP support through the Senate, through the House, and finally heading to the White House for President Biden. And we actually have the date that Chuck Schumer has given for the vote on this actual package, which is in September. But I'm going to give you this hard date, and there's a big reason that they're doing this because they want to pass this fast. So I'll explain all the details in just a moment. But we do have AOC and other progressives who are literally calling out moderate Democrats on the huge $3.5 trillion bill because they say that the price tag is too high, but the progressives are saying it's not high enough. But they are including a pathway to citizenship for immigrants with immigration reform. But we do have Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Warren who are calling out Biden, saying that extending the student loan payment freeze is not enough, and they want student loans canceled. So with the budget reconciliation package, we are about to see something happen for all those borrowers. But this is your stimulus and economic news update, and I hope you're having a great day. So for our next goal, we're trying to hit 55,000 subs, and when we do, I'm going to give away another $500 on this channel. And in order to qualify, all you have to do is these three things. Number one, click the like button down below for this video. Number two, subscribe or be subscribed to the channel. And number three, comment on this video on a topic that we talk about. But I do want to say thank you so much for all the support, but let's get right into it. So wow, they actually did it. The Republicans got on board with the Democrats, including the Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, who's a Republican, and they supported passing the $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill. They had 69 that voted for it and 30 against it. Now, this was a huge bipartisan win. I mean, they only needed 10 votes from the Republicans to pass this, and they got 19. So the plan is to rebuild the nation's roads and bridges and fund new climate change. And they also want to bring high-speed internet to every single American in the U.S. All these are top priorities that are on Biden's agenda that they are working on to get to the House now, to Nancy Pelosi, to get it passed there. So with this, now we head into two major pieces that are about to happen, and they are essentially both tied to one another. So now the infrastructure package has to pass in the House in order for it to go to Biden's desk. But in order for it to be passed in the House, it actually has to be brought to the floor for them to vote on. But then a lot of progressives are saying, including Nancy Pelosi, that if they don't get the reconciliation package from the Senate passed as well, that they're going to hold this bipartisan infrastructure package till it happens. So we have taken some huge steps forward, but we have just a couple more steps to go till things are finalized. But stimulus is definitely coming. But now everything is riding on getting this $1 trillion reconciliation package passed in the Senate. If you are in favor of getting it passed, well, the odds really are looking good for you because the Democrats can literally pass it all by themselves. They have enough votes, and pretty much everybody is on board to getting it passed in the Senate, including the moderate Democrats. Now, Chuck Schumer has already said that they are working on the reconciliation package right now. This bill is now at $3.5 trillion, so it's definitely not going to be cheap, but there's a lot to it, and we do actually have some of the text for it as well. Chuck Schumer said in a letter to his caucus that every senator will have opportunities to shape and influence the final reconciliation bill after adoption of the budget resolution. At its core, this legislation is about restoring the middle class in the 21st century and giving more Americans the opportunity to get there. This legislation will provide the largest tax cut for American families in a generation, while making the wealthy pay their fair share. In all phases, we will concentrate on communities that have too often been neglected, including communities of color and Native Americans. Now, the budget resolution will instruct the relevant committees to submit their pieces of the reconciliation package by September 15th. The committees with the reconciliation instructions will work closely with their House counterparts to write this legislation. We will work towards this goal and meet as a caucus during the week of the 15th to review the bill. Things have changed up. Before, it was just the Senate going through writing up this bill and building the reconciliation package. So for them to be able to expedite this faster, the Senate is actually going to draw up the bill with the House of Representatives so that when they go to pass it, it passes faster through each legislative branch. Now, things are already being negotiated with the House because remember, it has to pass in both. But sometimes if things have been talked about, it has to go through a whole new filtering process before it gets voted on. So they are doing this in the first place to go ahead and get it passed faster. So our date is September 15th. They have to have everything ready to vote, get this huge $1 trillion package passed. They don't need any Republicans for this, so it's going to be a lot easier to pass than the bipartisan package that just got passed, where they've been negotiating back and forth. So within this reconciliation package that they have already have some text in place, and it's really focusing towards families and some infrastructure. So Bernie Sanders said it's time to protect working families through the $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill. So within the package already, there's framework established to bring the universal pre-K program for 3 and 4-year-olds. And there's a new child care benefit for working families to help pay for child care expenses. So for college, it includes making community college tuition free for the first 2 years. The resolution calls for increasing the Pell Grant Award and making investments in historically black colleges and universities, as well as other institutions that cater to students of color. The president's plan would provide up to approximately $1,400 in additional assistance to low-income students by increasing the Pell Grant Award. So with this, there's definitely going to be a ton of students that are going to get help, but what else is going to help them is getting 2 free stocks with Robinhood, and you can as well through the link down in the description when you sign up and make a deposit, because it's super easy to start investing. You learn how to build some wealth. You get in there and you have your money work and grow for you. But the blueprint also asks to create the first federal paid and medical leave benefit. The plan calls for giving workers a total of 12 weeks of guaranteed paid parental, family, and personal illness safe leave by the 10th year of the program. Next is they plan to extend the monthly checks for the advanced child tax credit. So right now, the monthly checks that parents have been receiving will be extended for the next 4 years, but they are working on making it permanent. A ton of Democrats want this big time. Next, it talks about adding dental, vision, and hearing to the Medicare program, which would help and affect over 24 million people. Next, they are looking to make investments aiming to meet Biden's goals of reducing economy-wide carbon emissions by 50% and for the U.S. power grid to get 80% of its power from emissions-free sources before 2030. It also includes text for around $107 billion for the Senate Judiciary Committee to spend on immigration reform. The package does not specify how many people or which groups would be covered by the legislation, but instead of directing the committee to provide lawful, permanent status for qualified immigrants. A summary of the bill also states that it would provide green cards to millions of immigrant workers and families. So they have the framework for that, but there's also more that they're looking to do in terms of affordable housing and more for seniors. Many top Democrats are wanting another direct stimulus payment. They want a $1,200 stimulus check to be sent to adult Americans and $600 check to be sent to the children. This would go to all those, even those on Social Security, SSI, and SSDI. They want to add an immediate $200 increase to all Social Security recipients. This is immediate help that they want to bring fast to our seniors. Now, they are all working together now to build this package and add even more for everyone. It will be first start in the Senate and then go to the House, but we do have our September 15th deadline coming from the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. Now, AOC and other progressives are already calling out moderate Democrats and saying that they need to jump on board and make sure to do their part to get this passed ASAP. Also, they're wanting to make sure that the House doesn't vote on the infrastructure bill until they get the reconciliation package passed as well in the Senate. So they're using this as leverage to make sure that both pieces of legislation get passed because they do so much for the Democratic agenda. And they don't want it to be just one without the other. So let me know your thoughts on all this and what you feel is most important and what needs to get passed in your opinion in the comments section. But I do want to say, and I wanted to ask you that I normally don't give my opinion. I always try to bring the relevant news, exactly what speakers and leaders are saying so that you get the best information possible and then you come up with your own opinion. But if you would like to hear my opinion, just let me know down in the comments and then I'll add some from there. But we lastly do have Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Warren who are pushing for more cancellation through new bills coming up. The Education Department extended the pause for student loans till the end of January 22. So they got 4 extra months of not paying their federal student loans. But they're saying that it doesn't go far enough. Chuck Schumer, Elizabeth Warren, and Ayanna Pressley said in a statement, "We're pleased that the Biden administration has heeded our call to extend the pause on federally held student loan payments, providing an enormous relief to millions of borrowers facing a disastrous financial cliff." He also tweeted out and said, "Now it's time to go further." Now, they've also been urging the president to cancel $50,000 in student loan debt per borrower using his executive powers. If he did this, they would literally cancel almost 90% of all student loans for borrowers. So this would be the biggest forgiveness that's ever happened for this program. But Elizabeth Warren said the president has the power to cancel $50,000 in student loan debt right now. Senator Schumer and I are going to continue to push for this, but Biden doesn't need any authorization from Congress. He needs to pick up the pen and do it himself. So this is not going away, but it is definitely going to be something. And more than likely, we're going to see this in this huge reconciliation package they are about to pass. Now, let me know your thoughts about this all down in the comment section, and we can talk about it from there. But don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all stimulus and economic news that affects you and learn how to build some wealth. This is Joel, True Life Investing. Until next time, peace out.